in the next
just bash
minute.
out some answers in the next week or two or whatever.
Oh right, I see. What you want us to answer these as like online?
Yeah, if
answers.
you want, you can just if we don't get through them.
There's so fucking many of them. All right, yeah. Let's see what happens then.
Take your pick, nice one. First of all, obviously, just to say thanks very much for giving us the time of day. I know you must have thousands of these going on every time you put an album out.
Yeah, it's not too bad this time, but it's just because Warp didn't produce enough fucking watermarks.
Right, okay.
So, but it's not their fault either, you know, it's just industry bollocks.
As in promos?
Yeah.
Aye. Why was that? Probably is it because Untilted leaked too early, or?
Why they watermarked?
Aye. Why they didn't produce as many? Why they didn't
I just fucking hate anything below 128k a second.
Aye.
I just fucking hate it.
Yep.
It really depresses me.
Pointless.
Yeah, so I just thought, you know, let's try and limit that.
Yep.
But the Wire kind of fucked it up.
Aye, with the 3 tracks that they put out.
Yeah, it wasn't very nice, man. I mean, I messaged them on Friday to say, please take them down, because there's a legal question mark over this.
Yep.
And then they didn't. And then on Monday I got another email. I emailed them again and go like, what the fuck? And then we got another email back saying, well, we thought it would be good for you to have these tracks out.
It's nice that they make those decisions for you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's not
a fucking clue what's going on anyway.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Quite.
Cool. Well, I'll fire on. First of all, I mean the album. Is it Chorus this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it's your 9th album released on Warp since your debut.
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Uh-huh.
It also marked the end of sort of effectively the longest hiatus between releases, with obviously the last output being Untilted, which was April this time 2005.
Uh-huh.
Were there any significant factors for the longer interval? I mean, does it suggest a change in pace of your work, or was there any other reason for the?
It was a weird thing. I moved house in late 2005, and then we've been doing a lot of gigs that year, and in order to keep income streaming, we did some more gigs.
Right. Yeah.
And
was that part of the Untilted tour, or was that stuff over and above?
Extended stuff,
right,
yeah.
okay.
The festivals and so on.
Yep.
We were just doing them to keep above water, basically.
Okay.
And then and we were putting down tracks from the live set in the studio, but we were like, because we wanted to change bits of the live set, so for prosperity we were just putting loads of stuff down.
Okay.
Posterity. What the fuck? Can't even speak anymore. Interviews all day. And then I'm like, and then we just sort of, I don't know, changed what we were doing gradually. I think we ended up just doing tracks on the live gear, but in the studio.
Yep.
So we were plugging in other bits of the studio at the live setup, running it off the live setup.
Okay.
So it's basically like most of the tracks are like the result of maybe like a couple of hour-long jams that we've done in a day.
Okay.
That have been condensed down. So like. Most of the jams are like, you know, like big sections were usable and big sections weren't, so that's how come the edits happened.
Right.
But we just thought at the time it's easy just to keep going, you know, rather than thinking that wasn't right, let's run again. You know, thinking, oh, well, we'll just keep going and we'll edit later, because editing's so easy now.
Is that part of the reason why obviously one of the sort of characterised features of the new album against your previous work is obviously the substantial track count compared to the usual 8 to 12 tracks.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Obviously it's...
We just had shitloads of material at the end of it, and we were like, because we're continually making them shorter. We were going through, like, we'd have a 15-minute one, and then we'd have like a 10 or a 7, and then we'd end up with a 3 and a 4. And we kept them all, because like a lot of the intermediary ones are really lush, but they're like, they just didn't have the pace that we wanted for the album. And because we had so many tracks, we thought, you know, what's better? Do you know what I mean? Like eight of these, or like 20 of them, and we were getting really good short ones, and we were getting to the point where we preferred some of the short ones, so it just ended up being like that.
Cool. I mean, just talking about it, I've only had the chance to listen through the album sort of 3 or 4 times, which is never enough with you guys. It takes about a year to kind of become familiar. I mean, the first impressions were it was almost like the Guestcom mini disc project, where you could almost was there a sort of logic to the track running order, or is it?
Well, there is on the Guestcom mini disc. It's weird. I think by having the tracks shuffleable, we kind of remove people's awareness that there was a definite arrangement. To me, the mini disc feels like it's got proper flow. I mean, to us, it feels totally like flow. You know, we feel the flow totally. Maybe it's a familiarity thing.
Yeah, always. I think it always is. You know, obviously when it's unleashed on listeners, it can take sort of 6 months or whatever for folk to get a feel
it
for.
It took 6 months to edit.
Yep.
So
cool.
maybe that's how long it takes.
Yep.
I just wouldn't know. I'm so close to it.
Yeah. It's always hard to be kind of objective from sort of see it from a listener's point of view.
Right, totally.
I mean, I had the great pleasure of being along at the art school back in 2005 in Glasgow to see your live set, which totally blew me away. Looking forward to the next one, obviously. But I wondered if any of the material on this album had actually sort of featured in some guys, or sort of
couple of bits
from the Untilted tour. I mean, I'm sure
there's a couple of bits.
There was something in Chink 9, I think, which kind of rang a bell or something from there was a couple of tracks I can't remember off the top of my head.
There's one riff in there at the end of it.
Yeah.
And the bass thing.
Aye.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to remember now because we did so many, and we were doing versions and reversions and odd mixes of like melody off this bit and the melody off that bit, and it all got really mushy.
So I take it you don't, when you're approaching a new album, I take it you don't just sort of sit down with a blank slate. Is it really a case of sort of an ongoing cycle where some projects can sit on the shelf or
it has
be
been
part
with
of a
this
live
one
set for years, and then obviously then reach a point of resolution on a
it has been. I mean, it really varies from release to release. It depends how we're working it. I mean, sometimes we will just sit there and make stuff like with Untilted. That was made using similar hardware setup, but
just
in a very kind of contrived way where everything was programmed, and we'd literally just been pressing go and then capturing the output.
Right, okay.
So but this was a lot more about, real-time input. So it just really varies. And when you're dealing with real-time input, you want lots of sequences. So we were just pillaging anything.
Yep.
We were just going through everything that we either had, or if we were taking stuff and it didn't fit, we were bending it to fit. So it was kind of, it was just a constant. I really like Art of Noise and On New Sound, mainly because I used to collect that stuff, and all the overlaps used to do my head in. Like, that bit's off that track or whatever. And I quite like that. And when we came back to listening through it all, we found that we were getting disoriented by the same degree. It's a similar feeling. So it was like, I don't know. It sort of made sense in context. There's only 2 or 3 bits though that are actually out the 05 set that have ended up in there. I'm not sure. Probably lost count. Really.
I mean, do you on the sort of gear side? Are you still very much sort of working with hardware boxes as opposed to screen sequences?
Yeah, I mean the editing was all done with a computer.
Right. Okay.
Because
that's sound generation, you pretty much kind of is it
mostly hardware. We were using bits of software like in real time, but it's almost all hardware. So yeah.
Do you? I mean, obviously looking back to likes of sort of running about Cornfield and stuff when you were well documented of sort of being heavy users of like some Max.
Yeah, but there's only 3 tracks on Cornfield that have got Max sequencing on.
Okay.
It's fucking ironic, man. It's like Pen Extras was made with a mini disc.
Yep.
By like pausing a DMX drum machine and
loads
of basically like I could go through each one and it's boring, but there's only 3 on there that are generative really.
Right, okay. So obviously a bit of a kind of
it just gets massively overblown because people think it's dead interesting.
I know. I remember.
But it's not, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, to me, it's just like a bunch of arpeggiators plugged into each other going off. You know what I mean? And they're like, I've been doing that since day one. I mean, we've been doing that, since Lego Feet days. So to me, it's just all the same thing. But I guess they were going like, ooh, computers programming. Ooh, how exciting!
It makes a good interview for Sound on Sound, maybe.
Well, they loved it. I mean, them screenshots. I mean, come on.
Still the stuff of legend on many internet forums, trying to work out what's on your taskbar and the screenshot and stuff like that.
Oh no, that's really bad. I probably should have hidden it or something.
I mean, certainly back to the sound of the album, just from a couple of listens, first impression. It seemed to me to be a lot dubbier, a lot bassier, like a lot more bottom end than any of the previous albums. Certainly, I don't know whether it's maybe just initial perception. I don't know, has it been written with that in mind, with a lot more kind of bottom end on it?
I think it's partly like a result of us playing out a lot,
right?
And getting into that feel.
The sound that works in a live environment a lot.
Yeah, and what I like to hear really loud, you know what I mean, which is that kind of really VDQ, you know.
Feel like a ribcage.
And also like having a new room to work in and being able to crank it quite a bit.
Okay. Have you basically built your studio after?
Yeah, I've got a new studio. Well, we've still got 2 studios. Rob's still got one in London, but I've got one in Manchester now.
Do you still find you work together in the same room, or is there a bit more of kind of passing material back?
Well, with this one we did loads just by necessity, because I mean we were spending a lot of time together. But I guess that's why it took a while, because there was a lot of gaps. But the gaps were filled with like going abroad, doing other stuff, and working on other projects. So it was kind of, and we were doing bits of tracks and working out little bits of stuff on our own, but mainly like doing stuff like writing a few patterns or a couple of sequences and waiting, just storing it and just filling the machine up with like half bits, and then like getting together with Rob's half bits and making stuff out of the bits that work, you know. Yeah.
Do you have any would you have any plans to release an EP to sort of support this over the coming year, or is this going to be a sort of...
this isn't it, but there's no EP.
Right. Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. Okay. Cool. On a slight aside, how involved were you in the recent Guestcom release?
What, in percentage terms?
Well, I mean, you know, if you want. Is that something that you guys...
very involved in one of them.
Okay.
Well, no, actually very involved in 2.
Right.
The end of one of them, and...
this is the A1D1?
I'm just not being specific about which one. But yeah, I did one of them mostly.
Cool, so that's...
and then I did the end of another one.
Yep.
And then the rest of it was other people. I'm not going to reveal who, but yeah.
Nice one.
But
cool.
That's my personal input to that particular release, yeah.
Going back to the album itself, it seemed to be the kind of common consensus among fans and sort of commentators that Untilted was probably it was often written about as being one of your hardest and heaviest sounds, whether you agreed with that or not at the time. How would you describe the sort of overall sonic character of Chorustus, certainly in comparative terms to your previous work?
What you mean in those kind of cheesy ways, when you use one word like spacious or whatever,
some little soundbite,
open or whatever. Instantaneous, sort of, I don't know, direct, because we weren't thinking too much, you know, we were just doing it, so I guess it's fairly representative of what we're into.
Yeah, it sounded a bit
self-indulgent, if anything.
Yeah, it sounded almost like a kind of collection of it was almost retrospective to me in terms of it sounds.
Yeah, we didn't plan it like that. I think that's just what happens when you don't have much time to think. You just sort of do what you do, you know.
Aye. Cool. Back on the sort of gear tips, obviously this is for more of a gear orientated mag.
Oh yeah, reverb.
You know sound control.
Yeah, what the shop?
This is sound control customer mag.
Is it really? Right, fucking hell. Mental. Did you know Ruth Joy, who did this track called she did a track called Give Me Your Love, which was produced by Mantronics from about 88. It's fucking sick tune.
No.
She used to be the singer in Crush, you know, House Arrest, Crush.
Yeah.
Yeah, she works in sound control. She did, anyway, in Sheffield.
Oh, right, okay,
yeah. Aye. Really mad.
I've been here, 7 years, maybe just before my time.
Yeah, right.
Small world. But certainly any time you're looking for any gear or whatever, give us a shout.
All right, well, no, cheers, that's lush. I only buy like one thing a year. I'm really fucking bad. I'm like, I should buy more. I know, like, I talk to other musicians all the time who just buy stuff all the time. But
you get folk who just spend
they get it for free, some of them.
I know, but then, obviously, kind of work out how to work about 5% of the functionality and then go and buy something else.
Right, exactly.
On the gear side, I mean, what kits sort of most excited or inspired you in the last 12 months? I mean, you still sort of big fans of Electron kit?
Yeah, I love their stuff. I'm still in touch with them, it's just I think they're brilliant. What they're doing is brilliant.
Do you guys kind of get approached by companies to effectively help in development, or? Yeah,
but we always end up signing NDAs,
right,
you know.
Okay,
so
you can never talk about it.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying. But the only I mean, not recently. No, we saw Yamaha a few years ago.
Okay.
I can talk about that because we didn't end up doing anything. But
I
don't know. I guess. We've had contact with Roland and Yamaha and a few of the major companies, but I can't really tell you any more than that.
Okay, cool. If you were locked in a cell for a year and were given just one piece of software and a laptop and one piece of hardware to allow you to continue writing, what would you consider your most kind of important tools? What's your closest
I'd probably just take a copy of Digital Performer and an AKG 1000 mic.
Okay.
I think, yeah, straightforward. I think that'd give me the most flexibility.
Your own sound generation.
Yeah.
Do either of you actually play any instruments in the traditional sense, like guitar, piano, or percussion, or whatever?
No, not really. I mean, pads on a drum machine.
Yep, and that's
about it.
Yep, cool. Have you got any plans to release that?
Although, I don't know, I just think, do decks count as traditional instruments?
Probably these days.
20 years now, isn't it, or something? Yeah. So yeah, okay, decks. And you could say drum machines and sequencers and fader boxes, okay. Yeah.
Nothing on a sort of traditional, conventional basis.
What, you mean like a guitar or something where you select the notes or whatever? No, fuck all that.
None of it. Manual crap.
No. Well, it's just not got enough tonal capacity for me. You know, I'd think a guitar, I'd use it if you could do what you can do with a mono machine with a guitar. I'd probably use a guitar.
And make it sound like nobody's managed to make it sound like before.
Right. Try to.
Regarding the sort of your live performances, how do you and Rob feel about live gigs being bootlegged and obviously being made available online? Obviously,
that's great.
I mean, is it something that you're quite? Does it piss you off, or you take a positive view towards it?
Well, we wouldn't charge for them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's stuff that's like it's a two-way subjective process playing live, and it's not like a, you know, if you're not there, you're missing out on half of it anyway. So exactly. You know, I mean, it's fair. I think it's fair enough charging for the gig itself, but I think beyond that, that's a bit weird. If people, and usually the quality of the bootlegs is proper snuff anyway. So, but if people like to share and listen to that stuff on their own terms, and they're aware that they weren't there and that they're missing out on a lot, so
and it helps to pique their interest for the next release.
Yeah, obviously I prefer mic recordings to soundboards because soundboards are super dry and you haven't got the room.
Yep.
So you know, it's about using the room for us live, and it's about all that. So you know, the bootlegs thing, it's going to happen, innit? You know what I mean? Because we're not distributing them. If we were going, here's our soundboard for every year of a set that people wouldn't probably share them anyway. So it's one of the other.
Have you ever had any? I mean, have you ever thought, or have you got any plans to release like a live album or any kind of?
I don't like taking it out of context like that. I'd rather I don't mind using the bits of the live set in my studio work, but that's another thing. You know what I mean?
Actually replicate.
I wouldn't like take a live set that we'd recorded at a venue and then release that because that's just milking it, isn't it?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. It's very few people that take that kind of stance, so that's good. Moving away from obviously your own material and the gear, what do you guys, or what do you personally listen to at the moment? I mean, what releases over the last year have excited you, or at least kind of piqued your interest in
the last year?
Either specific artists or even sort of music you listen to at the moment? You still listen to a lot of kind of dub from the 80s or
I'm always listening to dub from the 80s, yeah.
Perpetual.
I'm fucking terrible. I'm the world's biggest scientist fan, you know. But no, I'm a total fucking completist as well. I'm terrible. But what really spun me out was when we saw Rhythm and Sound at ATP, and they were playing scientist records that I'm sure were different to the versions I've got. I'm sure they've got access to some masters or some shit that I've not. That was really doing my head in. They've got records I've never heard before. So, but no, I mean, I'm pretty kind of old school, unfortunately.
Cool.
I tend to listen to a lot of my old shit, and I don't know, that probably seems really boring to a kid. I don't know. Last few things I've heard that really done my head in was probably Dilla Donuts, right, and Wazzo Moustache.
Yep.
They're I really like them records a lot, but I'd never do a proper sample based thing. All of that bits on that Guestcom thing's the nearest I'll ever get, really. It's because I'm more into editing than I am the sampling. It doesn't really matter where the source is. I prefer it was my own stuff, really. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, just when you say that, do you find that when you're writing together, do you both have almost like your own half of responsibility? Do you both, in terms of the life cycle of producing an album or producing a particular piece of music, a particular track, do you tend to handle one set of duties or sort of get involved in one level of producing the track?
No, we haven't.
Or do you both just basically act as one kind of entity, as it were?
It depends, really. I mean, we don't have predefined roles, but we sometimes settle into roles defined by what we've been doing.
And does that vary from time to time, project to project?
Yeah, track to track.
Cool.
Really does. I mean, some of them they're all different percentages of each of us, and different people have done different elements, but I do tend to slightly lean towards percussion, and Rob tends to slightly lean towards oblique sound design and sort of things, yeah, and sort of, because that's what we're doing the live set, and so it's sort of, and because it's always been a big part of what we do. It's been like we've always had a separate live set to the album. It's always been new stuff, and so it's kind of, that's informed us over the years.
Which
you know.
part do you, I mean, some people sort of say almost that you are, you know, more of a live act these days than you are. I mean, what do you guys personally enjoy the live aspect more now than you did, say, you know, back in Cornfield tour, or?
Oh, definitely more than then. I mean, Cornfield was a good one, but it was very much us taking out our homemade sequences and really rinsing it, trying to get as many events out of the, you know, into the audience's mind as possible in the shortest amount of time, and really trying to twat them and melt their brains and stuff. And the last couple of tours have been about really rocking it, you know, just trying to really twat everyone, but in a kind of movement sense, where they feel like they're getting pushed around. So yeah, like that basically. I guess that's what we've been trying to do, and I think like the new set's a lot more that as well than the last one. So
when does the new tour kick off? Is it the
29th of Feb?
Is it Manchester first? And then
and then Glasgow, and then
look forward to that.
So on.
Obviously, I mean, that's been what, 20 years that you've been working together, or longer, is it?
I met him in '87. I guess we started working late '87. So yeah.
I mean, is there a preconceived point that you feel you might call it a day, or diverge into something else, or do you just treat every kind of day or album project as it comes and just, you know,
just take it as it comes, man. I mean, you can't plan. You can't plan that kind of thing that far in advance, can you? Really?
Yep. And you still feel the same hunger or inspiration or will to keep producing music, or is it something that you've from time to time have found it harder to kind of stay focused? Is it a fairly natural, ongoing?
I think that only really happens if you're consciously trying to push yourself, but we're not really about that. We're just trying to just do it. You know?
Yourself.
Yeah, just trying to just get on with it and do it. And I think, you know, as long as I prefer making music to doing other things, then that's what I'll be doing, basically.
Well, what just as a sort of almost the last question, away from music and talking about doing other things, what pastimes or interests fill your free time these days? I mean, do they
mates,
or feed back into the music?
I guess mates and hanging around with mates and people mainly. I'm more into people than I used to be.
Do you have any other sort of creative outputs at all? Or
not music specifically. I mean, apart from, you know, I dabble in programming, I dabble in doing bits of video and graphics, but you know, little bits and messing around, mostly coding really.
Is that I get four mates helping out, you know, involved in mates projects, or just
just stuff I do, just to try and sort of, because I'll get interested in a technology or a technique for a little while, like Flash or something, and just mess around with it for a while, you know. But as a distractive measure, really, just because it's an antidote to what I've been doing. I don't tend to use computers that much in the studio now, so they've become a little bit more of a thing I do in my spare time. Plus like obvious stuff like, you know, cycling and you know, active stuff. I'm more active than I was when I was in Suffolk, for definite, because there's just more people to see around here, really, and more to do. So
cool. Finally, if given the opportunity in interviews like this, you could formulate a question for yourself, what would the question be? What question have you?
I think if given the opportunity, if I could formulate for myself, what would the question be? Surely. That's the only answer, surely.
Of course. Walk straight into that one. Very nice. Cool. Well, listen, John, I'll let you go. It's about 25 minutes, which is the time we were given. Thanks very much for giving us your time.
Okay, no problem.
Can't wait to see the gig in Glasgow.
Did we miss any questions off the list?
I think we pretty much covered them all, and I think there was one on what your take on likes of MySpace and the sort of wider world of online fan communities like Exeltronic and Watum. Watum? We Are the Music Makers.
Oh, that thing?
Yes, that thing.
And Exeltronic, well, XLT, I don't know, it's a bit more macho, innit? And We Are the Music Makers is a bit more geeky.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a...
I like them both slightly, but, you know, I mean, it's like any online community. It's like...
Do you pay any attention to the feedback that you get?
I think the more...
Does anybody kind of keep a thermometer?
Well, now they've all been MySpaced, right?
Aye.
now you can find them all, and they're all having to have their pictures up and stuff, and be honest about who they are. It's slightly chilled them all out, which is good. So, you know, it's like, yeah, it's fine really. I mean, like, I know most people are on there now, which is a bit weird. But so as a result, I don't tend to post much. I post like once a month, you know what I mean? And it's usually just to correct someone. But, mainly my mates go on there and they'll send us links to it and stuff. So.
Well, I have to admit, I'm one of the ones that hangs about We Are the Music Makers from time
to time. That's not like a bad thing to say. Do you know what I mean? Not really. I'll probably be trying to find you later. But there's like the thing is, it's like not. We Are the Music Makers actually alright because they've divided it up into fan rooms. There's not as much fighting.
It kind of focuses the
stops people going like, you fucking twat, that band is shit posting to threads they shouldn't even be posting to.
That's it.
But it's all good. I mean, you know, faceless online communities create that kind of insane interaction.
I know.
You don't get anywhere else. So it's like if you can handle it and you feeling a bit brave, it's not that bad reading it. But it tends to just make me kind of giggle, smirk, and then go, oh God, like a lot. So, you know.
Well, you certainly look out for us, and I'll get the opportunity to speak to you again.
Alright, nice one, man.
Nice one, Sean.
Cheers. Are you going to be at the gig or anything?
I definitely will be. I know the guys down at Rub-a-Dub, you know, that run the Scrum and
okay, yeah, cool.
And stuff, so
brilliant.
Hopefully, I think the tickets are on sale next week, so we'll be along with myself and my mate do some tunes under the name of Rubens.
Alright, okay. Right, is that you? Yeah.
Aye.
Okay.
So we're both crazy fans anyway, so we'll be along. Standing in the shadows, taking that.
Okay, well, nice one, man. I've heard a few of your tunes and liked them.
Cool, nice one. Well, we'd love to send you a copy of the album, even just stick it in the post. I mean, is there somewhere I can send something to, even like a box or something, or anywhere to send something to you?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment all my mail's coming through Scam, so if you could send it to like AE care of Scam.
No worries.
If you've got Scam's address, I don't know.
I'll get it off the site.
Right, brilliant.
It's on the Scam site, isn't it?
Yeah, it's PO Box 76, Manchester.
Right, cool.
M45 7XW.
And I'll stick a sound control contact card, so if you're looking for any gear or software or upgrades or anything like that, just give me a shout.
Oh, nice one, man.
Sort you out with a trade deal.
Yeah, that's well lush. Brilliant.
Nice one. Keep doing what you're doing, Sean.
Cheers, man.
Take it easy, bud.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.